Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Saints Gaming CA Twitch stream. Today, we got some more League of Legends. We have the nice Star Leagues versus Camsville, I believe. Yeah, Camsville. Yeah, that's how you say it, I think. Anyways, so we have something we want to talk to you guys a little bit about what we witnessed yesterday from the Saints game, and then we also want to talk about what we have, what we expect for today. So, do you want?
Yeah, I mean, of course, last night a little bit of a disappointing performance from the Saints, dropping in a three-game series to York. A little bit interesting considering the league rankings that came out before that for all of Canada. There, of course, number 2 for St. Clair, number 4 for York. York pulling off a little bit of an upset that isn't really an upset in a lot of ways. Definitely, still trying to figure out where exactly all these teams rank out. But of course, definitely going to be interesting to see how they bounce back tonight. But
Yeah.
it's going to be a little bit different. Alonso not going to be playing tonight. It's going to be Zephrot in the jungle. So a little bit of a switch up in that regard. We'll see if that dynamic changes anything for the team here, if that really affects them in any way, because Campbellsville definitely a stronger team than what we saw last week from Shenandoah, but still a team where Saints are going to be generally favored to win.
Okay. So what I've heard from last night was that it was a very rough match. I saw a little clip of it as I was checking in on the stream there while being a good student and doing my homework for once. But I really do hope Saints do bounce back. It seems like everybody is getting in lobby currently, so it's not going to be too much longer before we do send it over to draft. Of course, I already harassed our ADC, Rocco, to pick Jinx because I felt betrayed yesterday. And honestly, maybe if they picked Jinx, they would have won, you know? But
possibly. I mean, the bot lanes that did come out were a little bit uncharacteristic. We saw Kog'Maw Lulu come through in game 1, which was a little bit interesting. We saw Aphelios come through from Rockboom in game 3, which was countered, quote unquote, by a Zeri Yumi combo. So definitely some interesting choices from York in terms of their bot lane combinations, as well as some interesting choices just in terms of drafting from the Saints as well. So I'm curious to see if they're going to bounce back. They're going to have a little bit more of a standard draft come through tonight, or if they're going to go a little bit more towards this off meta sort of stuff and maybe play their own style once again. But really depends on how confident they are going into this matchup.
So from what I know so far in NACE right now, Saints are, I believe, 3-0, and then Camsville is 1-2. So we'll see what happens later on when we do get to the game. But for now, we are going to throw it to a short little break while we wait for all of the players to get in lobby, and we'll be right back with draft. Welcome back, everybody. So now we are in the draft phase. I'm excited. Adam seems excited. I don't even know, to be honest.
Sure.
But it's all right.
I'm excited. We'll see what they have. I mean, can't be much worse than other drafts that we've seen today. That's for sure. Not naming any names, not naming any teams. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Stop being salty about Worlds, because we have a great college team game for us tonight.
Yeah.
Stop being salty. First ban coming through. We do have a Graves.
This makes sense, I think, especially considering it is Zephrot coming through in the jungle. You know, you want to just take away those meta staples, and in a lot of senses, you want to take away something that can be played in solo lanes a lot. And Graves is a champion that I think has skills that translate from the jungle to lanes as well. So yeah. I'm not too surprised by this one. On the flip side, though, the tree getting banned away, it is a little bit nerfed, but still incredibly strong on this patch, especially when you are sort of a team that's favored. Okay. In a sense, you want to take away some of these meta staples to sort of reach into the pool and say, hey, you need to bring something different to the table here so that, you know, we can't just fall into the trap of Maokai.
Yeah, understandable. I was always weird about the Maokai buffs because I wasn't sure if they were really that helpful. But, I mean, it's getting banned everywhere or it's getting picked, so I must be wrong about it. I am so happy. I hate Fire Exit. Just the way that she can just jump in and get all of her damage off, completely blow someone up, and then jump out. It's ridiculous. So it is a good ban from Camsville out on St. Clair. But St. Clair does return by taking out the Orin.
Yeah, and Orin's just a champion that, once again, it's a meta staple. It gives you guaranteed late game scaling. I like to call it scaling in a can, because you're going to have those late game items just to come online whenever you so desire. So just taking that tool away means that you force Campbellsville to play towards their early game a little bit more, where you can potentially exploit them in that right. So Saints really trying to put down the hammer and say, we are the better team. We know that. We're going to take away any tools that could potentially compromise it. There, Trundle being taken away is a good way to sort of remove the anti-tank as well. You see a couple of tanks being banned here. The anti-tank is a really good answer to that, but Zoe, believe that's more of just a comfort ban, if anything.
I think
might just be a ban away from the mid lane or something from the pool of either the mid lane or the support even.
Zoe's support has been a little bit popular recently. Okay.
Meow.
Don't meow at me. We're not Valorant players.
Well, there's a cat on screen, so I mean, you gotta meow. You gotta call it as it is.
You fit the bill for a Valorant player today,
I suppose.
But side of Cancel does pick Yuumi, and then Saints in return pick Draven. I don't like Draven, but Draven's really strong, so it's probably going to work out for Saints in this favor. And I'm very curious to see what the support is. It's going to be Thresh. I like that combo, honestly.
It's an aggressive combo. I mean, I remember watching like the old YouTube videos from like season 8 of like this guy Vincent Draven. He would show up and he'd be in the Chinese super server or something. He'd have the Thresh with him and he'd drop like 80 kills on people just because he'd just keep like spawn camping them and everything. I have fond memories of that. Granted, into this lane specifically, Draven has a way to cancel out the Yuumi from hopping onto the Sivir that is now picked up. The Thresh has a couple of tools to do that as well. And Sivir Yuumi is just a really strong combination together, but it doesn't really get strong until Sivir gets to about 2 items in a lot of ways. It is exploitable with this Draven Thresh, but the Jarvan coming through does sort of shore that up. It gives the side of Campbellsville University a little bit of more early game presence.
Yeah, I always hated how well Sivir and Yuumi work together, because especially if I forget the Shurelya's, if Yuumi does go Shurelya's and then Sivir just pops ulti, it just movement speed like crazy. But Ricky actually gets the Aatrox today, so I'm actually really excited for that. We haven't been able to see him on it that much recently, One, Aatrox is extremely strong at the moment. With all the healing that he has, it feels like the entire enemy team needs to build anti-heal just to stop him. Yeah. Like, it's insane. But I'm not sure, other than that, why we haven't seen her play Aatrox.
It's been banned a lot. It's been banned a lot. It's been first picked against us a lot. As you can see here, though, with the bans, you know, Fiora going to be taken off the table. Sort of the one true Aatrox counter that we've seen rise up a little bit. There's some other ones that can be mixed in there. Akshan also going to be taken off of the table here by St. Clair. Infinite swinging around now. A little bit silly. Not really the best of champions, but also quite good. Just being annoying to revive everyone at the end of it. Sure. Flip side, it is the LeBlanc and the Viego. Interesting to see the Viego banned out, because this isn't really an easy to execute jungle pick, and with Zephrot playing jungle, we have to keep in mind that it's not a jungler playing jungle, it's someone just filling in there, you know, but the Sejuani is a good way to answer that. It gives you a sort of a tank there, and it does synergize quite well with the Aatrox to be able to stack up your passive there.
Thinking about just abilities in general, because personally, I always mention this, I don't know matchups for jungler top very well, but for the Sejuani into G4, I feel like that does really work out well in Sejuani's favor. She's just going to be an ultra tank in order to try and protect the Draven, and then Aatrox versus Mordekaiser, I see Aatrox winning that regardless, just because of how strong he is at the moment. Again, with all the healing, all of the damage as well whenever he pops ulti. But Akali does get picked for mid lane for Camsville. I love Akali. After I got her Mastery 7, I love her. She's so much fun, but they counter it with Vex.
Yeah, and the Vex counter pick here is sort of something that makes a lot of sense. You know, Bakery Boy first picked the Akali last night, got counterpicked immediately by a Vex, and really couldn't get off the ground as much. So in terms of a recency bias, this is definitely a matchup that goes in favor of Vex a lot more. But overall at these comps here, it's pretty standard affairs from both sides here. You know, the Sivir Yuumi has risen a lot in priority, so much so that Yuumi is getting almost permabanned now at Worlds. Considering there hasn't been any changes to Yuumi or Sivir since that patch specifically, you know, it's still a strong combo. You can still sort of plug and play it in. It's really easy to execute as well. Once you get into the late game, you press R with the Sivir, you go and just look to fight as often as possible there. You get resets on your ultimate as well with the Sivir, so there's a lot of fighting capability from this side of Campbellsville, but you see St. Clair, they've got a little bit more of an execution advantage. It's harder to pull off, but the hires are a little bit higher on the flip side. You know, Draven getting cash outs, Thresh landing a whole bunch of hooks. We saw Rafa's Thresh last night, and it was really, really, really good at landing those hooks and starting out fights on the right foot. And, you know, Aatrox, as you mentioned, such a strong champion right now. Very curious to see how Ricky pilots that one, because we haven't really seen it that much, as you've been saying.
I know. It was so common for us to see before, but we get to see it tonight, and I'm super excited for it. At the moment, it looks like we're just now getting into in-game, so it would probably just be another or two. Overall, I see Saints, just team comp-wise, not player-wise, I see Saints team comp winning a lot more fights than Camsville, purely because Aatrox and Draven, nothing else. And we do have a pause. Great timing. So we will be going back to us. Hello, how are you guys? As I was saying though, just purely with the Draven and Aatrox, I can just see it winning 100%. Vex is going to cancel out the jump, or the little dash from Akali, from, nothing from Mordekaiser.
Cancel it out from Jarvan as well.
Yeah, Jarvan, and also I think if Sivir does build Gale Force, which I don't think that's part of her builds anymore, but if she does, it does cancel out.
Technically, yeah. I mean, the fear is just sort of like an impenetrable wall at that, but really difficult to pull it out. Just looking at the runes that we've got here on the other monitor, actually, you can see a couple of Conquerors actually coming through. It's going to be the Akali with the Conqueror as opposed to something like the Electrocute that has sometimes come through. Lethal Tempo did get nerfed, and we see Lethal Tempo showing up on the Sivir here, press the attack on the Draven. The main thing is that 25 less range doesn't really influence Sivir that much, because she's going to be ricocheting off the front line anyways, trying to hit that backline, trying to get those repetitive crits on there. Not a huge deal, but I think especially in lane, it makes it a little bit more difficult when your ricochets aren't doing that much damage. You actually need to auto-attack them to get that damage through. We're going to see the Glacial Augment come through on the Thresh as well. And Airy on the Yuumi. This does leave it up to a little bit of interpretation in terms of what they're going to build.
Yeah, it does.
You know, there's First Strike, which is basically saying, yes, I'm building Ludens. I'm going for this poke style of build. Airy leaves it up sort of in the middle there. You can go for the Moonstone build if you so desire, but very often you'll just see them go for the Liandry, or not the Liandrys, the Ludens anyways.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing. Actually, me and you had a conversation about the Yuumi build. Me and you were just talking about it, but that Yuumi building Ludens was a lot more effective than building just Moonstone, and it looks like the game froze for a minute.
It's the pause after the pause. It's the Riot special.
Oh yeah.
Happens every single time.
Okay, there we go. Now we're all good.
Yeah, but as you can see, actually, it's interesting to notice that Sivir starting with the spell shield as they wanted to dodge away from the fear from Bakery Boy there. It's going to take away a little bit of their laning prowess here. And of note, I believe there was a couple of wards actually picked up by Bakery Boy as well. So might be able to get level 2 on the first wave. Would be quite strong to see that come through, because then you have a little bit more agency to go in for this level 2 play on to Trust in that mid lane. But alas, we'll have to see what these two teams want to play it out. Actually, going for the level 1 cheese. This hasn't been spotted out yet, and I'm curious to see if the Sivir Yuumi is going to be able to sniff this out. This is something that St. Clair hasn't done a whole lot in the past either. It's definitely something very specific to Draven Thresh, but they're just going to go to lane. I'm
surprised that Thresh didn't try and go for the hook there early, just to try and get at least a little bit of early damage off. But we did see Mordekaiser and J4 in our red jungle, but it looks like nothing came out of it. Rafa just playing super aggressive, making sure that Sivir is not getting any farm. And honestly, like, that's what you would have to do in this lane too.
Yeah, the difficult thing as well is just the fact that MechaLove started with the spell shield means that you can't go for these hooks, because you're just giving... You're taking away all of your lane pressure. Effectively, what Rafa needs to do is not use the hook, because the threat of the hook is more so than the actual hook itself. You want to try and pressure the lane as much as possible, keep the Yuumi on top of the Sivir for as long as possible, and really prevent her from getting any sort of poke down. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. As you can see, Spell Shield was popped there. Now the hook comes through. That's your window to go in, and immediately 2 summoners burned.
Lens was already popped.
And the exhaust as well. It's just a lot of investment immediately after the spell shield was popped, because MechaLove was expecting the hook to come through, and Rafa held it for so long, and that is why the threat of the hook is greater than the hook itself in a lot of cases.
Yeah, you literally said it, like, the second that we went back in game, oh, Sivir started her spell shield first, and I was like, yeah, it's fine, I get it. And I just completely forgot about that. But it's just how League normally goes at the start, or at the first couple minutes. Everybody's just farming a little bit of damage here, nothing too major. It looks like Sejuani is around the bot side at the moment, or not. I don't expect a bot gank from Sej, but I do expect one from J4 to come through if he gets some help, maybe.
Yeah, interesting to see that the Jarvan opting for a 5 camp clear, looking for this bot side here. Going to be a little bit of a difficult gank, because as you can see, only about half HP. Rockboom has the stand aside, should be able to get out of there. Actually going to have to flash out as Terry Dingleberry, that's a name to remember there. Going to have to try and follow that one up. The Lantern coming through, though. Look at all the damage coming down. Toberg are going to move forward aggressively. Terry Dingleberry taking a lot of damage. First Blood going over to the Draven from Rockboom, and that's going to be a nice little cash out there to start this game out.
That was really, really well played. Both the Rocco's flash was really nice. Just the last split second before he was about to get that knockup from Jarvan. And then especially because Sejuani was paying attention and was able to get in the fight. But Akali is going to go back in on here on Vex, and Sejuani is just around the corner. Conqueror does talk. Not sure.
There's an angle, though, for Rockboom, as you see Kid and Flame taking a lot of damage. But so has Rafa, actually. Got the stand aside, but unfortunately not going to be enough. Rafa trying to run back for the axe, but might be in trouble here. MechaLove doesn't have the flash to be able to follow. The pizza not going to be able to land. Testing if they want to go forward on that one, but nonetheless, the Sivir going to be able to reply there. Rafa going a little bit too aggressive.
I'm not exactly sure what happened with that mid lane fight, but we did get to see the bot lane one. It sucks that Rafa did lose that fight initially, but in the end, Draven did get out perfectly fine, Rafa or ADC, so it does benefit us in a way, and he is going to pick up the speed and 2 alongside. In the meantime, mid lane, Vex is going to do a ton of damage to Akali here. Have to force her back underneath the turret. Hex Slash coming over the wall from Thresh. He does. I'm not sure if he landed the hook. Oh no! No hook was landed, and they are just going to get a free recall.
And you can see Sephiroth playing incredibly aggressive, looking into the jungle, really forcing out this Jarvan from Terry, preventing them from being able to get their camps even at that. So, really punishing this quicker clear, taking away that Gromp as well and starting to punish them out. Bakery Boy, level 5 right now in this Vex, has so much lane agency in this mid lane. Look at the CS difference already up about 3.5 waves here, trying to punish the likes of Terry in the jungle now. And this is the power of Vex into the Akali here. Not only do you have that range versus melee advantage, but your champion innately prevents the Akali from dashing in, getting her combos off as often as possible, and especially on lane when that 5-point strike costs so much mana for the Akali, you really have no chance against the likes of Bakery Boy on this Vex. Granted, they are gated by the fact that mana not as regenerable as the energy.
Mana is always like the biggest issue for me because I am someone who just likes to spam any abilities that I have at that moment in order to try and get something out of it. But Akali does get to get a little bit more CS, maybe try and catch up here a bit, but we're not sure. Riki up in top lane, it looks like he's just peacefully farming, he's minding his own business. He's having the time of his life up there, actually.
Exactly, and I think looking at this matchup already, you can see a Bramblevest first back for the Mordekaiser, whereas Riki hasn't even had to go back, still has that teleport available. You have a lot more agency in this lane to sort of play aggressively when you still have the teleport available, because you can go for an aggressive trade, you can lose the trade, and then you just teleport back to lane, and you've got the item advantage again. We'll see what Riki opts to go for here, but thus far, just holding a 15 CS lead, nothing too crazy, but of course, this bot lane just continuously going to be a little bit of a pain for Rockboom to have to deal with, because it is effectively the untouchable Yuumi dropping down, you know, prowling projectiles, 100 damage every, you know, 8-9 seconds or so. Really fun champion, really great design, right? Thank you very much. That's my Yuumi flame for the day, but nonetheless, Rockboom just going to try and survive this lane. Has already gotten one cash out, but really wants to build up that next one and look for another aggressive play, hopefully before the Sivir Yuumi is able to turn online.
Yeah, one thing that I did notice while we were watching the bot lane there is that Akali did roam bot lane for a moment just to try and maybe pick up a gank, maybe pick up a kill, who knows. But during that, he was just trying to get ahead and catch up in sense of gold for from not having as much CS. But by doing that and not getting anything off of it, he's down even more CS. That's gonna suck later on.
Bakery Boy's been doing a really good job of over the last couple of series, even just really showing how good of a laner they are in a lot of ways. I mean, even yesterday, they were sort of the one bright spot for Saints across all 3 games, where Bakery Boy was continuously finding advantages for themselves and trying to push forward their advantages across the rest of the map. So I'm happy to see them already sitting with a 25 CS lead here. You know, they've got the Lost Chapter. Now they have the agency to roam here with Rafa. This is going to be a difficult play for the Sivir Yuumi to get out of, because there's 4 members on this bot side of the map. Shadow Surge not quite going to land, but MekiLove in a tough situation. Exhaust goes down onto Rockboom, but Rockboom going to be happy with that. Unfortunately, Sejuani Ultimate going to go wide, but Rockboom collects their 2nd kill of the game. Another cash out for the Draven, who's feeling happy, going to be rolling in those riches and very likely going to pick up an early mythic item. Could be that Eclipse coming through, actually.
I think it would be the Eclipse, just because he does have that Serrated Dirk and he does the Longsword. But honestly, Dravens have been going so many different big items recently, I don't know exactly what to expect. But Akali is going to flash going on Rockboom here with her ulti. Ulti's not going to hit and not going to get the last kill. Vex is around the corner, trying to do as possible. Akali is going to ult out with the Yuumi on her back in order to try and escape. Rafa's on her and is looking to get that hook.
Oh.
Flashes for the hook, does miss it, so Akali does get home back into me.
Yeah, a little bit of an overextension there from Trust, actually. Just not having damage. I mean, you look at what items they've got. It's a Thorn Shield and a Dark Seal at this point. Bakery Boy really not feeling scared about this one. Trust going to get hit with that hook there. Death Sentence will land. Will it be the Death Sentence for the Akali? Does not seem to be so quite yet. Bakery Boy going with that last Mistral Strike, but unfortunately will not land. Just a little bit too skinny at the edge of that one. Whirling Death coming through. Not going to land, unfortunately. Even the pullback not going to be in time as Yuumi's heals come through in enough. It is a plate picked up. It is a dragon picked up, but unfortunately no dice on the kill mid lane.
That was a great hook that I saw that we got to see Rafa land on the Akali there. I thought the minions were in front of it. It's always those kind of things. You think the minions are in front of it, but it's not. But sometimes they aren't, and then it is. It's really weird. Oh, Riki just popping ulti here. He gets the flash from Mordekaiser. I'm curious if he does end up going for the dive to pick up the kill. Probably not.
It's a little bit too far, I think. But even then, look at the CS lead that Riki has picked out for themselves. Of note, I think perfect CS throughout the first 10 minutes is about 108 CS. Riki has 103 CS. That's pretty good. You know, that's pretty good, even though, you know, you have to reset at some point there. You know, already farming 10 CS a minute here. Aatrox did get nerfed this patch. Riki says, yeah, nerfed my something. Regardless, just going to keep farming up on this top side of the map. Aatrox can be so strong when left alone. Interestingly, though, going for the Gore Drinker build as opposed to something like the Eclipse, that was sort of the build before. Eclipse got nerfed on 12.19. Aatrox's auto attack damage specifically, or the auto attack healing off of the passive got nerfed as well. So maybe going for a little bit more of that raid boss healing style Aatrox as opposed to the Eclipse build that we've seen so often before. But even now, you know, 10 minutes into this one, the kills are only 3-1, but there's already a 4,000 gold lead erupting for the side of St. Clair. They're feeling really confident in their gameplay, and you can just see it through Bakery Boy moving forward aggressively, getting so much money off of that first strike, and Trust already down to half health.
Bakery Boy also went Luden's Echo first, and I don't know if that's when the Vex's, people who play Vex normally go, but I have actually seen Everfrost been very, very effective on her, especially when she does fear someone and then just uses the Everfrost and can basically land all of her abilities. Riki is going to go in here on the Sivir and Yuumi. Gonna get some damage on Yuumi, and then they are gonna back out before Riki unleashes his full potential.
Yeah, you can just see that the Sivir Yuumi has no answer for the Aatrox right now. You know, there's not enough damage. There's a pickaxe and a couple long swords there. But top side here, it's actually going to be Ashen in a little bit of trouble. Going to take Rafa down to the Death Realm here. Tobruk's here as well, so Zephrot will be able to answer as soon as the Mordekaiser comes out. But you know, there's no escaping this one. Going to be going under the tower. Another hook lands. It's going to be Zephrot picking up that kill on to the Mordekaiser. Unfortunately, not going over to the Draven, but now Riki in a little bit of trouble. Going to pop that World Ender here. Do they have enough damage? Oh boy, yes they do! Even through the exhaust, it's going to be the flash out from the Sivir as well, just to be able to survive. Exhaust does not matter. Riki Lafleur here to play, and my goodness, Sivir Yuumi almost discovered exactly what he meant.
I wonder if Riki's tilted at all, because that is twice now that he has ulted and gone in for a kill, and both of them have walked out with, it looks like double-digit health.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not tilted, because, you know, he's up 50 CS on his lane opponent at this point, you know, just taking away some jungle camps at that. Teleport now forced out from Trust on the bottom side. Going for the perfect execution. That's already one stack of the ult burn, but not a lot of damage. The execute not going to really come through here. Lots of damage being taken, but Trust going to miss that shuriken flip there. So Riki's just going to be able to walk. Didn't even have to burn the flash in that sense. Now looping around once again. You know, this Akali not outfitted to fight against this Aatrox right now. Will be able to walk out, but across the map, just all these fights very close to kills, but not quite landing for the side of St. Clair. Granted, top side Ashton just going to fall as well. Seems like this directed camera wants to cover every single fight possible, but this top lane tower going down. Riki now going to be in a little bit of a tough situation. No, potentially a 1v3 as Naki coming down as well. The Yuumi here as well to provide some heals. Riki going to have to find a way out of this. Doesn't have that ultimate up for another 20-30 seconds at that. Riki looking for the damage down, will end up falling. First death of the game for Riki, but Rockboom going to be the main benefactor of that. That's going to be tower picked up on the top side of the map.
Honestly, no, Riki did end up giving up. I think that said 250 bounty. It worked out for Saints because I think they did just get first turret up top, and people did pick up a couple more kills all around. So Saints are looking good in the spot that they're in right now. They all have a bunch of more bounties, and honestly, they can, if they just keep that they're on, where they send Riki different lane while everybody else is up in, like, for example, when he was down bot, everybody else was up top in order to pick up objectives, kills, etc. I think they could really eat the game.
And look at the gold difference right now. You know, it's an 8,000 gold lead here with a 3-kill difference. You know, the shutdown going across to the Akali, it's a little bit worrisome, but Akali doesn't have her mythic yet. You look at Bakery Boy on the other side, that's an item and a half already complete. You look at the Sejuani even. Sejuani's got her Sunfire, she's got her Ionian Boots. Flip side, you've got the makings of the Gore Drinker by the looks of it. You've got the makings of the Plated Steel Caps. You haven't really got anything yet set in stone. Although Trust going to try and go aggressive on it. Shadow Surge going to land from Bakery Boy. Will he be able to dodge away from this? Perfect execution going to land. It will be enough to take that kill on to Bakery Boy, but flash forward from Tobruk and looking for a little bit more damage. Does not want to use that ultimate. Will end up using that just to secure that one up. It ends up being a 1-for-1. Zephrot goes on a killing spree, and once again, the shutdown hurts a little bit to go over to the Akali, but in the grand scheme of things, 8,000 gold lead doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry that I laughed at the Sejuani ulti. It's just so funny that you just see these two things fly through the air for someone who's 10 HP.
Yeah.
But Riki is back up in top lane. It looks like Saints are going to secure the drag while he's up there. Rocco, he's playing very aggressive. He really wants to kill off the Sivir and make sure that we're in the middle. But what you're saying about all the 8,000 gold difference, it is really good for Saints. They've been farming extremely well. They've been playing this match extremely well as well, and Overeem is doing a great job.
It's just the laning differences here. You can see the skill of the individual player sort of shining through in these lanes. You know, Ashen really not able to get any sort of space every single time. You know, they're taking aggressive trades, and once again, Riki going to be drawing 4 members up to this top side of the map, sort of sniff something out. Draven going to go in with the flag and drag, in with a Cataclysm, as well as that Yuumi ultimate final chapter coming down, but it might be the final chapter for someone else on the side of Campbellsville here. Next, trying to run away for their life. Riki with a huge heal coming through from the Gore Drinker. All these Darkened Blade procs are trying to keep him alive, trying to do as much damage as possible. Meanwhile, mid lane, 3v 1v1 there. It's going to be Zephrot tanking up that tower for now. Trust going to try and backflip out of there, but doesn't have that ultimate. They're actually going to use it to go back in, trying to use that to just get out as well, but it's a mid lane tier 2 tower picked up. Riki stays alive throughout all of that as well.
See, that's exactly what I was mentioning, is that the fact that the entire team seems to be so afraid of what Riki can do with this Aatrox pick is that they send everybody up there in order to deal with him, not realizing that they're going to lose possibly 1, 2, maybe even 3 turrets too, all because everybody wants to go and stop Riki from doing anything in this game. But meanwhile, all you're doing is you're giving Rocco and you're giving Bakery Boy more gold.
It's more gold going into Rockboom's pocket specifically, now sitting on 2.5 items. Draven, one of those champions where you give them a couple of kills in lane, they can take that so far. I want to see if we can actually get a check on how many stacks the Draven has right now on that passive. Could it be indicative of how much they're sitting on and basically what that next kill is going to be worth. But, I mean, you look across the map as well, there is a lot of standing gold on the map still for St. Clair to pick up. You know, only 4 towers picked up. There's still some tier 2s to pick up. But there's a lot of ways that Campbellsville can get back into it. Have heard it's 224 stacks, I believe, on that Draven. Equates to about an extra 550 gold once he gets that kill. So that's going to be a pretty nice payday if Draven's able to pick up another one.
Oh my god, if Rafa took that wolf, I would have been tilted for the Mordekaiser, honestly. I would have just ult F4 right then and there.
Yeah. But thus far, just a little bit of an interesting situation where St. Clair up 10,000 gold and they're up 3 kills.
Yes.
This has been sort of a macro masterpiece at the best of it, just really showcasing that, you know, they know how to play the map, they know how to garner advantages without necessarily needing these kills. In Campbellsville, they don't really have any answers to what the side of St. Clair is pulling out. Rafa, you know, sitting on this blue buff, just no fear in the world, gonna dodge away from the backflip as well. The flag gonna spot it out, but even then, you know, there's no contest here onto this blue buff. If Jarvan goes in, they die. That's not something you want to be going up against.
Sejuani is gonna go here on the J4. Yuumi is gonna pop ulti, but yeah. Rocco pops his ultimate and manages to land and pick up the kill on J4. Akali is going to go in here as well, use her shadows in order to try and pick up a kill. Rocco does kill her in return, getting a nice double for himself, now putting him at 4 and that was really, really well played by Rocco there.
Just staying alive, and I mean, the Akali was oh so close to getting that last little bit, you know, pushing it across the line, and maybe it's just comes down to if they have, you know, another half of an item there, they pick up a double kill, they're able to get more gold back in their pockets, they're able to pick up a couple of shutdowns, but no, Akafum had already picked up, you know, the extra 600 gold, I believe, from the Adoration stacks there, was able to pick up another kill right after. It's effectively just that Rockboom has been able to snowball this game so heavily in their favor. Granted, that's a 40% crit Infinity Edge that was just built.
Oh, see, if I was in this game, it's just like, all right, so no one go near Draven. Yeah. We're going to all do everything else possible, and no one go near him. End of story.
Yeah, and realistically, it's funny to see the Infinity Edge come through when it doesn't actually get the passive yet.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because it's Infinity Edge, it does damage, it does a lot of damage at that. This Draven doesn't care. Draven's going to end up getting that crit eventually at this point. You know, still has tier 1 boots of all things, but, you know, just Zephrot going for a little bit of a solo kill here. Terry not in the best of situations here. 200 health to go. It's actually going to be a flash forward. Rafa going to drop down that. Ooh, the Lantern trying to get him out. Whirling Death not going to be quite enough to pick up Terry, but, you know, 4 members forced to rotate over to a Sejuani of all things. Try and take him down, but even then, the side of St. Clair continue to push forward their advantage. They just need that last little bit to push them across the line. Honestly, a 20-minute Baron could do it for them.
They could, honestly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Saints go do the Baron at the moment. They have so much pressure on the map in almost every lane except top lane. That's the only place. Wow, that damage is so just not fair. Yeah. Rafa does miss the hook on Akali there. This has been such like, it's a very calming game in all honesty. Yeah. It hasn't been like a complete bloodbath either.
It's a masterclass coming through from St. Clair, realistically. And I mean, we look at even at the siege on the bottom side, you know, forcing the Yuumi ultimate out. Now Trust's going to be forced to go in with the backflip. That's not the decision you want to make now. So kills start falling by the wayside. Toebreaker picks up one, Rockboom picking up another one. Shadow Surge did land. Here comes Bakery Boy into the back. And look at how much damage that Mordekaiser takes as Reiki able to get on the board. Resets coming aplenty. Vex landing the third one there, and that's going to be the ace coming through for the side of St. Clair College. You don't need the Baron, you just need the Rift Herald, and it looks like they are trying to wrap this game up in just over 20 minutes. Alpha tanking up the tower. Everyone's sort of tanking up the tower here, but Rift Herald going to be here in time. We might actually get... No dancing Rift Herald, but nonetheless, under 21 minutes, St. Clair College absolutely dominate the side of Campbellsville University.
Hold on, Yumi's going to get a penalty here. Just you wait. Holly is spawned. Just flash in and pick up the kill on Rafa. But it looks like Saints are just going to close out the game here. Rocco does pick up another 2 kills by the end of it, right beside the Nexus with 7 and 0.
And honestly, just a really straightforward game coming through from the side of St. Clair. Really not in doubt, I think. And we mentioned that this is a game where Saints are going to be favored to win. And they just said, we're not going to mess around. We're going to give them as little as possible. We're going to give them very little room to have any sort of variance. And they just said, our team is better, and we're going to dominate you.
Yeah, I really liked how Saints played that out, because the last couple times that we have been able to a League of Legends game for you guys, it's just been a complete bloodbath. We've even like sat there after games and just looked at how many kills there was in general, and we're like, jeez, like, what the hell, man? But this time there was barely any. Like, at this, the KDAs.
Yeah. I mean, look at the damage coming through. Yeah. I mean, Bakery Boy with 17,000, there's really no one else that's even lighting a candle to it. Unfortunately for the Mordekaiser, it wasn't even able to complete a mythic item. As we can see, we just see the gold differences between all of these roles. There's 3,500 more, almost 4,000 gold in the mid lane. 5,000 gold in the 80 between the 80 carries. 1,000 gold between the 2 supports, especially when that's a Relic Shield support versus a the Spell Thieves support. Yes, you usually expect the Spell Thief support to scale a little bit quicker, to get that gold a little bit quicker, but nonetheless, Rafa just everywhere on that map, and overall just a very dominant performance, even through the top lane, where Ricky got to participate at the end of the game, was 0-1-0 for the entire game, and just like, I'm going to farm and do that my job. So nonetheless, a very strong performance coming through from our Saints.
I'm really, really happy with how it went yet again, and it was well played by both sides. Saints did take away the win, but I believe it currently might throw short break. Yeah, we will be throwing it to a short break, but we'll be back soon for game 2.
Angle though for Rockboom, as you see Kid and Flame taking a lot of damage, so is Rafa. Actually got the stand aside, but unfortunately not going to be enough. Rafa trying to play for the Sivir Yuumi to get out of, because there's 4 members on this bot side of the map. Shadow Surge not quite going to land, but Meki Love in a tough situation. Exhaust goes down onto Rockboom, but Rockboom going to be happy with that. Unfortunately, Sejuani Ultimate going to go wide, but Rockboom collects their 2nd kill of the game. Another cash out for the Draven.
Know exactly what to expect. But Akali is going to flash going on Rockboom here with her ulti. Ulti's not going to hit and not going to get the last kill. Next is around the corner. Trying as possible. Akali is going to ult out with the Yuumi on her back in order to try and escape. Rafa's on her and is looking to get that hook. Flashes for the hook, does
enough damage. There's a pickaxe and a couple long swords there. But top side here, it's actually going to be Ashton in a little bit of trouble. Going to take Rafa down to the Death Realm here. Toberker's here as well, so Zephrot will be able to answer as soon as the Mordekaiser comes out. But there's no escaping this one. Going to be going under the tower now. Aatrox right now will be able to walk out, but across the map, just all these fights very close to kills, but not quite landing for the side of St. Clair. Granted, top side Ashton just going to fall as well. Seems like this directed camera wants to cover every single fight possible, but this top lane tower going down. Ricky now going to be in a little bit of a tough situation. Potentially a 1v3 as Naki coming down as well. The Yuumi here as well to provide some heals. Ricky going to have to find a way out of this. Doesn't have that ultimate up for another 20-30 seconds at that. Ricky looking for the damage down. Will and makings of the plated steel caps. You haven't really got anything yet set in stone. Although Trust going to try and go aggressive on it. Shadow Surge going to land from Bakery Boy. Will he be able to dodge away from this? Perfect execution going to land. It will be enough to take that kill on to Bakery Boy, but flash forward from Toebreaker, looking for a little bit more damage. Does not want to use that ultimate. The side of St. Clair is pulling out. Rafa, sitting on this blue buff, just no fear in the world. Going to dodge away from the backflip as well. The flag going to spot it out, but even then, there's no contest here onto this blue buff. If Jarvan goes in, they die. That's not something you want to be going up against.
Sejuani is going to go here on the J4. Yuumi is going to pop ulti, but Rocco pops his ultimate and manages to land and pick up the kill on J4. Akali is going to go in here as well, use her shadows in order to try and pick up the kill.
Side, forcing the Yuumi ultimate out. Now Trust going to be forced to go in with the backflip. That's not the decision you want to make now. So kills start falling by the wayside. Toebreaker picks up one. Rockboom picking up another one. Shadow Surge did land. Here comes Bakery Boy into the back. And look at how much damage that Mordekaiser takes as Reiki able to get on the board. Resets coming aplenty. Vex land in the 3rd one there, and that's going to be...
Pick up the kill on Rafa, but it looks like Saints are, yeah, Saints are just going to close out the game here. Rocco does pick up another 2 kills by the end of it, right beside the Nexus himself.
Here's an angle, though, for Rockboom, as you see Kid and Flame taking a lot of damage. So is Rafa, actually. Got the stand aside, but unfortunately not going to be enough. Rafa trying to play for the Sivir Yuumi to get out of, because there's 4 members on this bot side of the map. Shadow Surge not quite going to land, but Mechilove in a tough situation. Exhaust goes down onto Rockboom, but Rockboom going to be happy with that. Unfortunately, Sejuani Ultimate going to go wide, but Rockboom collects their 2nd kill of the game. Another cash out for the Draven.
I don't know exactly what to expect, but Akali is going to flash going on Rockboom here with her ulti. Ulti's not going to hit and not going to get the last kill. Next is around the corner. Trying as soon as possible. Akali is going to ult out with the Yuumi on her back in order to try and escape. Graf was on her and is looking to get that hook. Oh. Flashes for the hook, does
enough damage. There's a pickaxe and a couple long swords there. But top side here, it's actually going to be Ashton in a little bit of trouble. Going to take Rafa down to the Death Realm here. Toberker's here as well, so Zephrot will be able to answer as soon as the Mordekaiser comes out. But you know, there's no escaping this one. Going to be going under the tower now. Aatrox right now will be able to walk out, but across the map, just all these fights very close to kills, but not quite landing for the side of St. Clair. Granted, top side Ashton just going to fall as well. Seems like this directed camera wants to cover every single fight possible, but this top lane tower going down. Riki now going to be in a little bit of a tough situation. No, potentially a 1v3 as Naki coming down as well. The Yuumi here as well to provide some heals. Riki going to have to find a way out of this. Doesn't have that ultimate up for another 20-30 seconds at that. Riki looking for the damage down. Will and makings of the plated steel caps. You haven't really got anything yet set in stone. Although Trust going to try and go aggressive on it. Shadow Surge going to land from Bakery Boy. Will he be able to dodge away from this? The perfect execution going to land. It will be enough to take that kill on to Bakery Boy, but flash forward from Toebreaker looking for a little bit more damage. Does not want to use that ultimate. The side of St. Clair is pulling out. Rafa, sitting on this blue buff, just no fear in the world. Going to dodge away from the backflip as well. The flag going to spot it out, but even then, there's no contest here onto this blue buff. If Jarvan goes in, they die. That's not something you want to be going up against.
Sejuani is going to go here on the J4. Yuumi is going to pop ulti, but Rocco pops his ultimate and manages to land and pick up the kill on J4. Akali is going to go in here as well. Use her shadows in order to try and pick up the kill.
Side, forcing the Yuumi ultimate out. Now Trust going to be forced to go in with the backflip. That's not the decision you want to make now. So kills start falling by the wayside. Toebreaker picks up one. Rockboom picking up another one. Shadow Surge did land. Here comes Bakery Boy to the back. And look at how much damage that Mordekaiser takes as Reiki able to get on the board. Resets coming aplenty. Vex land in the 3rd one there, and that's going to be...
Pick up the kill on Rafa. But it looks like Saints are just going to close out the game here. Rocco does pick up another 2 kills by the end of it, right beside the Nexus himself.
Here's an angle, though, for Rockboom, as you see Kid and Flame taking a lot of damage. So is Rafa, actually. Got the stand aside, but unfortunately not going to be enough. Rafa trying to play for the Sivir Yuumi to get out of, because there's 4 members on this bot side of the map. Shadow Surge not quite going to land, but Mechilove in a tough situation. Exhaust goes down onto Rockboom, but Rockboom going to be happy with that. Unfortunately, Sejuani Ultimate going to go wide, but Rockboom collects their 2nd kill of the game. Another cash out for the Draven.
I don't know exactly what to expect, but Akali is going to flash going on Rockboom here with her ulti. Ulti's not going to hit and not going to get the last kill. Next is around the corner. Trying as soon as possible. Akali is going to ult out with the Yuumi on her back in order to try and escape. Graf was on her and is looking to get that hook. Flashes for the hook, does
enough damage. There's a pickaxe and a couple long swords there. But top side here, it's actually going to be Ashton in a little bit of trouble. Going to take Rafa down to the Death Realm here. Toberker's here as well, so Zephrot will be able to answer as soon as the Mordekaiser comes out. But there's no escaping this one. Going to be going under the tower now. Aatrox right now will be able to walk out, but across the map, just all these fights very close to kills, but not quite landing for the side of St. Clair. Granted, top side Ashton just going to fall as well. Seems like this directed camera wants to cover every single fight possible, but this top lane tower going down. Riki now going to be in a little bit of a tough situation. Potentially a 1v3 as Naki coming down as well. The Yuumi here as well to provide some heals. Riki going to have to find a way out of this. Doesn't have that ultimate up for another 20-30 seconds at that. Riki looking for the damage down. Will and makings of the plated steel caps. You haven't really got anything yet set in stone. Although Trust going to try and go aggressive on it. Shadow Surge going to land from Bakery Boy. Will he be able to dodge away from this? The perfect execution going to land. It will be enough to take that kill on to Bakery Boy, but flash forward from Toebreaker looking for a little bit more damage. Does not want to use that ultimate. The side of St. Clair is pulling out. Rafa, sitting on this blue buff, just no fear in the world. Going to dodge away from the backflip as well. The flag going to spot it out, but even then, there's no contest here onto this blue buff. If Jarvan goes in, they die. That's not something you want to be going up against.
Sejuani is going to go here on the J4. Yuumi is going to pop ulti, but Rocco pops his ultimate and manages to land and pick up the kill on J4. Akali is going to go in here as well, use her shadows in order to try and pick up the kill.
Side, forcing the Yuumi ultimate out. Now Trust's going to be forced to go in with the backflip. That's not the decision you want to make now. So kills start falling by the wayside. Toebreaker picks up one, Rockboom picking up another one. Shadow Surge did land. Here comes Bakery Boy into the back, and look at how much damage that Mordekaiser takes as Reiki able to get on the board. Resets coming aplenty. Vex landing the third one there, and that's going to be...
Pick up the kill on Rafa, but it looks like Saints are just going to close out the game here. Rocco does pick up another 2 kills by the end of it, right beside the Nexus.
There's an angle, though, for Rockboom, as you see Kid and Flame taking a lot of damage. So has Rafa, actually. Got the stand aside, but unfortunately not going to be enough. Rafa trying to play for the Sivir Yuumi to get out of, because there's 4 members on this bot side of the map. Shadow Surge not quite going to land, but Mekilove in a tough situation. Exhaust goes down onto Rockboom, but Rockboom going to be happy with that. Unfortunately, Sejuani Ultimate going to go wide, but Rockboom collects their 2nd kill of the game. Another cash out for the Draven.
Not exactly what to expect, but Akali is going to flash going on Rockboom here with her ulti. Ulti's not going to hit and not going to get the last kill. Next is around the trying as possible. Akali is going to ult out with the Yuumi on her back in order to try and escape. Rafa's on her and is looking to get that hook. Flashes for the hook, does
enough damage. There's a pickaxe and a couple long swords there. But top side here, it's actually going to be Ashton in a little bit of trouble. Going to take Rafa down to the Death Realm here. Toebreaker's here as well, so Zephrah will be able to answer as soon as the Mordekaiser comes out. But there's no escaping this one. Going to be going under the tower now. Aatrox right now will be able to walk out, but across the map, just all these fights very close to kills, but not quite landing for the side of St. Clair. Granted, top side, Ashton just going to fall as well. Seems like this directed camera wants to cover every single fight possible, but this top lane tower going down. Riki now going to be in a little bit of a tough situation. Potentially a 1v3 as Naki coming down as well. The Yuumi here as well to provide some heals. Riki going to have to find a way out of this. Doesn't have that ultimate up for another 20-30 seconds at that. Riki looking for the damage down. Will and makings of the plated steel caps. You haven't really got anything yet set in stone. Although Trust going to try and go aggressive on it. Shadow Surge going to land from Bakery Boy. Will he be able to dodge away from this? Perfect execution going to land. It will be enough to take that kill on to Bakery Boy, but flash forward from Toebreaker looking for a little bit more damage. Does not want to use that ultimate. The side of St. Clair is pulling out. Rafa, sitting on this blue buff, just no fear in the world. Going to dodge away from the backflip as well. The flag going to spot it out, but even then, there's no contest here onto this blue buff. If Jarvan goes in, they die. That's not something you want to be going up against.
Sejuani is going to go here on the J4. Yuumi is going to pop ulti, but Rocco pops his ultimate and manages to land and pick up the kill on J4. Akali is going to go in here as well, use her shadows in order to try and pick up the kill.
Side, forcing the Yuumi ultimate out. Now Trust going to be forced to go in with the backflip. That's not the decision you want to make now. So kills start falling by the wayside. Toebreaker picks up one, Rockboom picking up another one. Shadow Surge did land. Here comes Bakery Boy into the back, and look at how much damage that Mordekaiser takes as Reiki able to get on the board. Resets coming aplenty. Vex landing the third one there, and that's going to be...
Pick up the kill on Rafa, but it looks like Saints are just going to close out the game here. Rocco does pick up another 2 kills by the end of it, right beside the Nexus.
There's an angle, though, for Rockboom, as you see Kid and Flame taking a lot of damage. So has Rafa, actually. Got the stand aside, but unfortunately not going to be enough. Rafa trying to play for the Sivir Yuumi to get out of, because there's 4 members on this bot side of the map. Shadow Surge not quite going to land, but Mekilove in a tough situation. Exhaust goes down onto Rockboom, but Rockboom going to be happy with that. Unfortunately, Sejuani Ultimate going to go wide, but Rockboom collects their 2nd kill of the game. Another cash out for the Draven.
Not exactly what to expect, but Akali is going to flash going on Rockboom here with her ulti. Ulti's not going to hit and not going to get the last kill. Next is around the trying as possible. Akali is going to ult out with the Yuumi on her back in order to try and escape. Rafa's on her and is looking to get that hook. Flashes for the hook, does
enough damage. There's a pickaxe and a couple long swords there. But top side here, it's actually going to be Ashton in a little bit of trouble. Going to take Rafa down to the Death Realm here. Toebreaker's here as well, so Zephrah will be able to answer as soon as the Mordekaiser comes out. But there's no escaping this one. Going to be going under the tower now. Aatrox right now will be able to walk out, but across the map, just all these fights very close to kills, but not quite landing for the side of St. Clair. Granted, top side, Ashton just going to fall as well. Seems like this directed camera wants to cover every single fight possible, but this top lane tower going down. Riki now going to be in a little bit of a tough situation. Potentially a 1v3 as Naki coming down as well. The Yuumi here as well to provide some heals. Riki going to have to find a way out of this. Doesn't have that ultimate up for another 20-30 seconds at that. Riki looking for the damage down. Will and makings of the plated steel caps. You haven't really got anything yet set in stone. Although Trust going to try and go aggressive on it. Shadow Surge going to land from Bakery Boy. Will he be able to dodge away from this? Perfect execution going to land. It will be enough to take that kill on to Bakery Boy, but flash forward from Toebreaker, looking for a little bit more damage, does not want to use that ultimate. The side of St. Clair is pulling out. Rafa, sitting on this blue buff, just no fear in the world, gonna dodge away from the backflip as well. The flag gonna spot it out. And welcome back, everyone, to the Saints broadcast. We've got Game 2 here between St. Clair College and Campbellsville University. St. Clair winning in very dominant fashion against the side of Campbellsville in that game number 1. And honestly, really no flaws overall, apart from a couple of deaths. That's really it. It was effectively a perfect game.
It was. They played it extremely well. I liked the difference between how we normally see Saints, where they are always on a rampage. They're trying to look for every single kill they can get. This time they sat back and they let they made sure that the other team didn't get any gold whatsoever, because they knew that the champions that they picked, that's exactly what they needed. So they played it really well. As you just said, it was a almost perfect game for Saints, and I'm really proud of them.
It was really sanitary at that. It was just very clean, just exactly what you needed to do there. And of course, there's going to be taking away some of those scaling options once again. The Ornn going to be taken off the table.
Yep.
Very obviously, the Aatrox had their way up on that top side there. No surprise there, I dare say.
The Aatrox ban, completely understandable, not just because of Ricky, but because there was a moment in that game where we watched 4 people pull up on Ricky, and Ricky healed through it for like at least 15 seconds, and I'm pretty sure he did almost walk out of it as well.
He walked out of it alive, yeah. He stayed alive.
So it's understandable.
Yeah, the champion's really strong still. I mean, Maokai going to be taken off the table as well, just sort of taking away these tanks away. And I think that's a really good strategy, because you want to try and win the game as quickly as possible. And the worst way to deal with that is have to take 20 seconds, kill a Maokai or something along those lines. But Yuumi, going to be taken off the table there. The cat is gone. We can all rejoice. No cat here coming through.
Yeah, no Yuumi ban. There is a Yuumi ban coming through. And also an Akshan ban, just like last time, coming from the Saint side. And I believe it was also on the Saint side last time, so maybe it is just a pocket pick. Akshan is I always think that he's kind of like Draven, where he's always available and always really strong. It just depends what people are interested in playing in that patch. Then again, we also have a Sejuani ban coming through. Zephyra played Sejuani extremely well, and I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't know that he could play Sejuani that well, but it was great. He made sure that he was everywhere on the map. He took care of everything that he had to. He got a bunch of drags. He did his job.
Yeah. And we see the Caitlyn first pick coming through for Rockboom there. So just going to be picking up that super, super strong laning ADC. I think especially when you want to dominate a lane, if you're not going to pick up the Draven, you can pick up something like a Caitlyn. And Caitlyn's been banned against the side of St. Clair pretty frequently over the last couple of weeks. So it's interesting to see that come through. But the Ziggs recently buffed, going to be coming through in the bot lane. So not really happy to see Ziggs bot lane coming back, because it's really boring.
It is boring.
You just farm, you throw bouncing bombs, you get to hear him say, "Where'd that bomb go?" over and over again, and you count how many teeth he has in every one of his skins. But the Jarvan here are going to come through again for the side of Terry.
Ooh.
Had an okay game, all things considered, but if Bakery Boy's LeBlanc is left available, why not pick it up?
True. LeBlanc is honestly, she's also a very, very strong pick. I love LeBlanc. She's a complicated champion to play, but if you do know what you're doing, you can just win the game solely off of LeBlanc alone. But we also see a Graves pick coming through for Zephyron, I believe. I'm assuming that it's Graves jungle.
Very likely.
Graves, strong. Don't even want to talk about it. I'm an ADC main. I understand the pain and suffering.
Yeah, Graves incredibly strong. I mean, sort of harkening back to what we saw at Worlds a couple hours ago, we saw Kanavi pull out the Graves and just, drop 120 CS up on top of the enemy jungler in a very similar fashion to how, the Vi was working in Worlds. It's the Jarvan coming through. So there's a world where Zephyros just able to go 100 CS up, build the Umbral Glaive, have, 80 vision score or something, just control the entire map. Graves is one of those champions that can definitely 1v9. We see it in solo queue, we see it in pro. It's just sort of a mark of the trade. Regardless, Leona going to be the answer on the flip side. There's no support actually picked up yet for the side of St. Clair. So interesting to see them sort of blind pick this one away.
Also, for the bans, there is going to be a Morgana and Braum ban. Morgana and Braum, I've played Caitlyn before. Caitlyn works really, really well with someone who has a ton of CC. And I remember I spoke to the League of Legends team for Saints, and they do like the Lux and Caitlyn picks. So we might see a Lux here, or we might not. Not 100% sure yet. But we also see the last 2 bans from Saints coming through, which is Vex and Malphite. Again, as Adam said, we are trying to take out all the tanks as possible to close out this game. But shockingly, we see a Jace pick.
Yeah, a Jace coming through could still be flexed between the solo lanes. Granted, not going to be a great matchup into the LeBlanc, not going to be a great matchup into the Sion either. Nope. That is now picked up, but curious to see if they do opt to go for that Caitlyn Lux combo really strong with the traps and the snares and everything. Yeah. Very curious to see if that is the angle for them, because it is sort of a tried and true combo, but instead, going to be the Karma coming through, where you still have a root coming through. It's a little bit maybe easier to land because it's just a tether. You don't actually need to land the skill shot, but at the same time, it's a little bit less aggressive, I want to say, and I think it's just a little bit safer overall.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just like they both, Lux and Karma, they both have a stun or a root, whatever you want to call it, and they both have a shield. But with Karma, you get that movement speed, and with Caitlyn being such long range, I'm expecting to see Rocco chase a lot of people down in this lane. Especially the movement speed from the shield could be helpful to dodge the Leona stuns. So I'm not sure exactly what to expect other than good things from the bot lane, but the last pick coming out of this draft here is going to be Mordekaiser yet again. Mordekaiser into Sion, I don't know much about it. Do you?
I mean, Mordekaiser versus Sion is sort of a war of attrition once again. I mean, the Sion's just going to be stacking that health over time. Yep. Mordekaiser's going to try and cut through it, but granted, what we saw in that last matchup with the Mordekaiser as well really just didn't even get a chance to do anything that entire game. Wasn't really at objectives, wasn't able to drop that ultimate down on top of anyone to sort of prevent them from taking those objectives. So I think if we are to sort of have a repeat performance of last game, wouldn't be too surprised to just see Riki just sit up there top lane, farm up a Storm, and become sort of that really scary split push threat, because we've seen Riki Sion before, likes to go for the Hullbreaker, likes to go for the Titanic Hydra. Great items on Sion, by the way. Hullbreaker, I know a lot of people who are big fans of that item there. You know, Hullbreaker, really interactive gameplay from time to time. I'm being very sarcastic about this because Sion with Hullbreaker can sort of just ruin games from time to time as well, just because you can't really do much about it, but of course, we are going to be hopping onto the Rift here. Game number 2 between St. Clair and Campbellsville University. Campbellsville trying to find any glimmer of hope, because that last game, they were absolutely stuffed into the ground.
Okay, Rocco. Rocco, that was not needed. You did not have to be mean to the Leona like that. What if she was just trying to get some wards out, huh?
Well, that's exactly what she did. She put a ward down and, you know, going back, going to try and get that sweeper. To be fair, Rafa did answer it with a ward of their own. Won't be able to be swept out until laning phase starts, but of course, Riki just sort of vibing up on that top side of the map. Standard 5-ish point start there from both of these sides, just trying to prevent any sort of invades from coming through. But of course, Zephyros here on this Graves, just going to be able to solo play by themselves, you know, go for these invades if they so desire, start these buffs up, you know, clear for as long as possible, whereas, you know, Terry gonna really have to try and push the envelope a little bit more and look for these ganks, because I think that was the main thing. The Jarvan just got outscaled by the time level 6 came around, because they hadn't really made a successful gank yet.
Yeah, I think that as well, just because Zephyros did such a good job of keeping all that CS away from J4 that, again, as you said, he wasn't able to get that level up early, and that may have screwed him over last game, but we'll see what happens this game. Rocco was playing really aggressive, he's even playing really aggressive now. He knows Leona's in that bush and that she's waiting to throw out that stun whenever she gets the chance, but doesn't look like that chance is coming anytime soon, and they're just doing a little bit of poke here and there. That's the one thing about Karma and Caitlyn. The poke from this matchup specifically is insane.
It's a double-ranged bot lane, and when you look at what this Ziggs and Leona are going to try and do, every time Ziggs wants to go up and trade equal damage, they have to use mana every single time, whereas the Caitlyn can just drop down her auto attack. She'll drop the headshots from time to time. You know, Karma's there to back that up. And what does the Leona do? The Leona has to stand there and take all that damage, eventually just sort of wearing down over time. You know, level 2 advantage is going to come through from Rockboom and Rafa, and from there, you know, even if the Zenith Blade lands, what does Kid and Flame do? Do they win the fight? No, because you've already down, you know, you're already down a potion on both members here. You're really going to be struggling to stay alive in this lane. You're really sort of playing for Lost Chapter on the Ziggs, if anything. Granted, that is why they take the teleport. They can just use all their mana as quickly as possible, buy a tier, buy a Sapphire Crystal, maybe buy an Amp Tome if they're lucky, and then just continue wave clearing. But top side, of course, Ashton taking a lot of damage here from the Sion is exactly expected. All the flashes coming down, though, is actually Kid and Flame going to be able to follow through under Rockboom. No flash available, going to burn that heal as well. Here is the gank from Terry, gonna get first blood for the side of Campbellsville on that bottom side of the map.
Now we do see Zephyros and Bakery Boy come around the corner to go in and maybe pick up an extra kill. Looks like it's just going to be the Leona for now, but it was a good trade overall. It did go to our support Rafa, but it could work out in the end.
not the worst case scenario, you know, great roam coming down. It was Bakery Boy able to get that wave shove in mid lane there. It's going to give Trust a little bit of free time just to sort of farm up for themselves, but realistically not going to be losing too much. A really good roam on the opposite side. But of course, Ricky just trying to do Ricky things there, trying to get as much damage down as possible. Ashton just trying to survive this lane to the best of their ability. And granted, they are doing a better job of it this time around, you know, sort of resisting against what Ricky is putting up thus far. But on the flip side, this Graves just going to keep farming up here, even going to get a chance to invade and steal away these Raptors from the side of the Jarvan.
That's exactly what Graves wants to do as well. J4 did already get the early gank off right before him, but looks like they are going to pick up a really free kill up in mid lane real quick, just on Jason. It is going to go to Zephyr here, and he might jump back over that wall to steal the Raptors camp. It looks like he is on the minimap. Yeah, he is stealing the Raptors camp straight in front of J4's. J4 must feel at least a little bit disrespected. Ricky is going to get pulled up in top lane, but he might actually get the kill on the Mordekaiser here. Had to pop shield.
Yeah,
Zephyr is right around the corner. Flash comes through, and he picks up the final kill on the Mordekaiser there.
Yeah, and really strong early game presence coming through from Zephyr, just saying, you know what, I want to get ahead of this Jarvan. I'm going to do the Jarvan's job better than the Jarvan is doing. You know, we saw the level 2 gank down bot side. Now, you know, Graves just going bot, going mid, going top, picking up kill participation in every single one of those lanes, and that's already vaulted the Saint side up to about a 2,000 gold lead here at 5 minutes into the game. This is just very similar to what we saw last game. You know, so strong, just pushing forward their advantages as much as possible. And even though Bakery Boy taking a little bit of a tough trade in that mid lane, you know, 300 gold up there, even between the 280 carries here, it's not really that big of a difference here. The first blood gold went over to Ziggs, keep in mind, but, you know, still lagging behind in farm a little bit. And look at the difference between the supports, 500 gold already. And this is just continuously pushing down these advantages as quickly as possible for the side of St. Clair. They want to win these games. They want to go home. They just want to say, hey, we know we're the better team. We're just going to go home with 2 easy wins.
We're just going to close out this game as soon as we can because we want to go home. We want to sleep. They want to be good students just like me, who has an essay due tonight that I need to go get done. But they also want to get their work done. So why don't you just close out the game?
Yeah, Ricky going to be in a little bit of a tough situation, though, as Terry coming through. Granted, Flag and Drag not going to land. A big decimating smash going to come down from Ricky as well. Might actually test their chances here in the 1v2. Terry does not have that Flag and Drag available. Doesn't really have the health to be able to continue this play. But meanwhile, mid lane, Codebreaker going to be going in for this one. Lots of damage being taken by the side of Trust. Trying to stay alive. The Ignite takes down as well. The Chain going to clean that one up. But the last auto attack from the Jace going to be able to finish that one up as well. Rafa taking a decent amount of damage as Kid and Flame goes in. But that's a one-way ticket down to the grave as the Leona falls as well. Rockboom getting their first kill of the game.
Beautiful plays all around the map. The death from LeBlanc, the kill over to the Jace, did kind of suck because we were hoping that Bakery Boy would get it for free. But Karma is going to go in here, slow with the Q, get the root off, is going to die from the Ziggs bomb. I was not expecting that much damage out of the Ziggs. I know you got first blood and everything, but damn.
Yeah, Karma going a little bit too greedy as well. I mean, granted, you're walking up to a Ziggs when you've got 200 health left on the Karma. Ends up sort of paying the price for that one. There is a saying for that one. Karma is definitely something. And in this case, Karma's dead.
Yeah, just maybe a little bit. Who knows? Maybe just it was like, you know what? I just need a really quick base. It's like, here you go. I'm going to give you free gold. Do what you want with it. I'm going to go back to base.
Of course, Zephyr on this top side, stealing away the red buff here, already sort of asserting their dominance across this game by getting these jungle timers a little bit better than the Jarvan is. Of note, Jarvan wasn't actually able to take their first red buff, but meanwhile, mid lane, once again, the Jace under threat. Trust going to have some issues after that one. Codebreaker picking up their third kill of the game. This Graves is digging a whole lot of them for the enemy team. 3-0-2 already here for Zephyr.
J4 did just gank bot. Sadly, we did miss it a little bit. For whatever reason, the league director, or not league director, the auto direct for league is being a little bit glitchy, so we might miss fights here and there. Karma is going to slow down the Ziggs here, not going to be able to pick up the kill just yet. But again, if we just miss the very last bit of the fights, we do apologize. It's not us, it's the client itself because it's Riot Games.
Welcome to Riot Games, where the client works.
Yes.
Ricky, though, just going to dodge away from that Depths of Grass, because why not? They can do whatever they want. Ashton just having such a difficult time trying to survive this lane. Oh, no, Ricky picked up a call. And this is something a little bit atypical for I would say North American Sion players, definitely something that the boss likes to pick up over in EU. You know, just get 10 CS a minute, just go for these crazy aggressive Sion plays. Just doesn't matter how many times you die because you're taking down towers. And with the Ruby Crystal plus that longsword, I'm inclined to believe that it is just first item Hullbreaker, and Riki just wants to try and get that as quickly as possible and end the game for themselves. Granted, going to be a little while before that comes online, but Riki just picking up a couple of fruit. That's going to go back top lane. Of note, also using the boss's skin, Lumberjack Scion, so, it's a little bit of a cosplay coming through.
Yeah, that is the best Scion skin. In all honesty, it is. I can completely agree with that. But on the other hand, Campbell is going to pick up the dragon here. It doesn't look like Saints are going to try and contest it due to the fact that they did just get Rift Heralds, so it's like normally you trade one for the other, depending on what's going on in the map. But another thing that I wanted to point out, look at the CS difference between not just one lane, but almost every single lane.
Oh, actually, Riki going to be taken down to the Death Realm. Ashton fancies their chances here. Riki going to be in a little bit of a tough situation. No way out of this one. Going to go into zombie mode, and Ashton finds the solo kill onto Riki Lafleur, getting a little bit over-aggressive on that top side of the map. Won't be able to chase down that kill in zombie mode either, but yeah, Ashton doing a good job of finally getting some sort of grounds on this top side of the map. It's been a really tough road for them to even, farm in this lane over the course of these games, and now, Campbellsville making this game a little bit more interesting. Only about a 3,000 gold deficit here at 10 minutes. They're definitely looking a lot better, a lot more comfortable than last game.
Yeah, they are. I honestly don't mind that that Riki did end up losing that fight up in top lane. I'm going to have to wait a second because it looks like we're going to get a juicy fight here. Ball lane in a second. Rift Herald is going to be dropped. J4 is around the corner coming from drop.
Oh, Megan
Leona is going to flash in and go on Rocco there, but he is able to get out perfectly fine. Bakery Boy is going to go in on the Jace. The root is not going to land, but it's okay because Sephiroth's just going to one-shot him.
Yeah, going over the wall with the collateral damage, but it doesn't seem like they're done. Dashing over that wall. Bakery Boy coming in with the chains, landing on a Kid in Flame. It's going to be Rafa with the Inner Flame picking that one up as well. Toebreaker looking for a little bit more with the smoke screen. Not going to quite follow that one up, but a big charge on that bot side. Lots of plates going over to Rock Boom as well. Meanwhile, top side, Riki fancies the chances once again, despite them just getting solo killed. Doesn't seem like Riki cares at all. Just going to keep farming this one up. Ashton, though, getting the better of some of these trades now.
Yeah, so overall, Saints are playing it really, really well. Zephrod is making it very, very, very hard for Campbell to do anything regarding jungle. He is able to go all across the map, but for a second, Mordekaiser might pick up another kill on Riki here. Both flashes are going to come through. Riki does get out safe, but it looks like he is going to challenge him a little bit more. Zephrod is around the corner, lands the slow, lands his Q, and
yeah, Leona is here as well. Yeah, you can see Trust now moving forward. Toebreaker trying to get out of this one. Graves actually going to be able to dodge away from that. No execute potential, but here comes the unstoppable charge. You're going to be able to find that knockup onto Trust, going a little bit too deep. Trusted themselves a little bit too much with that damage, but not going to be able to do it. Ashton now taking Zephrod down to the Death Realm, but this Graves is fed. This Graves is going to find their 5th kill of the game. Rafa going to land that tether down as well onto Kid in Flame here. This Leona burning down from the flames from that Ignite as well. It's going to be another kill picked up by the side of Toebreaker there. Breaking ankles, breaking toes, breaking everything on the side of Campbellsville. 6-0-4 on this Graves.
That, honestly, Riki, that was not fair that you survived. I'm going to have to ask you to go and take a couple turret shots, pay for your sins, because that was not okay.
At the end of the day, though, it's just Rock Boom now coming up to this top side, going to continue to push down these plates. This is the power of Caitlyn. Caitlyn died as First Blood and is 1,000 gold up on the Ziggs just because of how much pressure they're able to put down, the range advantage that you have at all points of the game, and the amount of resources that they're putting into this Caitlyn just means that Rock Boom can get as many plates as they so desire. Terry, though, trying to take this red buff. Sephiroth says, no, this is not your jungle. This is my jungle. This is my red buff. Probably going to take that for themselves eventually. Ashton going to try and contest it. Believe that is Zephyr taking that away, but here a little bit of a fight. Cataclysm goes down. Actually going to be taken down into the Death Realm as well is the Graves. It is going to be Rock Boom picking up one for themselves as well. Meanwhile, topside Mega Inferno Bomb comes down onto Rock Boom, taking a lot of damage. The Ziggs on the opposite side of that wall. Lots of damage coming through. The Ignite taken down as well. That last bouncing bomb comes through. Kobe Bryant shoots it over the wall. Bakery Boy, though, on the bottom side, going to pick up Trust as a kill as well. 2 for 2 across the map. A little bit more chaotic this time around. Seems like Saints feeling a little bit more feisty in this game.
They're definitely feeling a little bit more feisty. I'm not exactly sure who picked up the shutdown on Zephyr. Either way, though, that's a ton of gold over to Campbell's team. Maybe they'll be able to do something with it and be able to survive a little bit longer. Maybe they can turn this game around. But overall, very well played from both sides. And it looks like everybody's just going to try and get recess. Rafa's going to get a little bit greedy here. Going to try and root the Mordekaiser. Throw out the empowered Q again. Just get a little bit of damage off. Maybe just push him off of Ricky's turret as well in the meantime. Ricky doing Ricky things like he always does. He's trying to be that little goblin in the corner and just run around the map trying to cause mayhem to as many people as possible.
Yeah, and of course, we just look at this overall state of the game. You know, Ziggs 3-0-1 doing quite a good job of just holding their own at the very least. But, you know, Mordekaiser even this game was the one to pick up that shutdown on to Zephrot there.
Okay.
Has the Riftmaker complete, has a nice amount of CS as well for themselves. So, you know, really building up towards being a little bit of more of a nuisance, I want to say. This Mordekaiser last game didn't really do a whole lot, but this time around, at least they've got the Mythic item. Progress being made in that front. But of course, top side, another turret going to go down. Ricky's on the wrong side of the map here. Let's see how their drifting skills are going to be going for a little bit of a left turn here. Not something you often see in NASCAR. Looking for the little dive around turn 3. Can't get around the chicane, but nonetheless, going to be Sion getting out of there scot-free.
Now, Saints are going to lose the Infernal Drake yet again. First it was the Hextech Drake, now it is the Infernal. It is a good chunk of damage that you are missing out on, but again, they're doing exactly what they did last game. Ricky was just down in ball lane, trying to cause as much issues as possible for Campbell, and this time they actually learned their lesson from last game, so instead they're going to be pushing mid, but they do end up getting to push up top lane. Zephrot is around the corner with Rafa, probably going to pick up the kill on J4 there. Ziggs did take out Ricky quickly. Ricky does get the kill on the Leona. Rocco is going to Gale Force forward, get the kill for Zephrot on the Ziggs there, and that looks like the end of the team fight, and they might go Baron. Or no, Baron's not
Baron hasn't even spawned it. You know, we're 15 minutes into this one.
It seemed like it was so much longer in the game than it actually was. Okay, never mind. They're going to pick up Rift.
Granted, it was a decent amount used from both sides to pick up that one kill onto Ricky, but Ricky's perfectly fine being the sacrificial lamb or the sacrificial zombie, whatever you want to call him at that point. Ashton trying to escape the 2 AP threats here. They're just playing with their food a little bit, throwing out these skill shots, tossing down the emotes and everything. Meanwhile, Rockboom just says, hey, let me farm.
Yeah.
Caitlyn just trying to get as much CS as possible, but nonetheless, right now, a substantial advantage once again coming through from St. Clair. While Campbellsville have put up a little bit more resistance this time around, it's still very much a fleeting desire for them to get back into this game because 10,000 gold up, at least 9.6 thousand gold up for the side of St. Clair. Basically, you know, grasping at straws for the side of Campbellsville to get back into this game. But the Ziggs, you know, sitting on an item, does do a decent job. Has been doing okay.
Ziggs doing quite a bit of damage, honestly, more than what I expected, because I didn't realize that he was 4-1. I'm just missing a bunch of stuff these last 2 games. But maybe the Ziggs will be able to pull through and get enough kills later on in the game that he is able to turn this game around for his team, but we won't know until that time comes. Jace is going to be a little goblin, keep stopping Bakery Boy's recall, delaying that recall. It doesn't seem like it always affects the game at all, but it actually does.
It changes the tempo of the game substantially so in some ways. At this point when you're this far ahead, maybe not as much, but especially when, you know, you're on even footing, sometimes getting those resets, you know, desynced or something can really throw off a team's timing. Granted, at this point, I don't really think Bakery Boy cares that much, especially considering the Jace is tickling them a little bit. Definitely not the performance that Trust wanted to have on this, we'll say, side meta, this meta adjacent pick in a sense. Just, it's okay. It's just not something that you'd necessarily expect. Granted, Jace did get buffed on his most recent patch. A lot of people are saying that they're more so placebo buffs. The champion is still not in the best of states, but overall, this game state right now, quite good for the side of St. Clair, up 10,000 gold, as we've been mentioning. Just Ricky sort of sitting in the side lane, biding their time. No, they haven't really had as much free reign over the side lane as they did last game, but as you can see, Zephrot has free reign over the jungle, moving forward aggressively. Quite be the collateral damage to connect. Great flash away from Terry, but it's going to be Bakery Boy going under the tower, not able to land that second chain there. Unfortunately, isn't able to cosplay their favorite rapper being 2 chains, but Ricky just going to try and get out of that one as well. Rafa dropping down as many Inner Flames as they want because they have no fear. You know, this support Karma has just been tossing out the Pope at will. Meanwhile, topside Trust not going to be able to get out of this one. It seems Rockboom, with all of that attack speed built up, able to collect their 3rd kill of the game, as second Herald going to look to push forward. Bakery Boy, though, chunked out here by the Ziggs a little bit. Mega Inferno Bomb just going to prevent this wave from crashing any further. It will not be the tier 3 going quite yet, but a lot of damage done to the top side of Campbellsville.
I really like, honestly, how aggressive Rocco is playing. He is doing a great job to make sure that there is enough DPS in order to take people out of the fight, even if it just pushes them off and isn't able to pick up a kill yet. It's overall just like really good gameplay from him, and especially the Mordekaiser keeping Riki out of the fights as well. It doesn't seem like it's doing that much, but it is, honestly, because that means that Riki isn't able to do, for whatever reason, a NASCAR drift around the map in order to join a team fight. So overall, great gameplay and macro from everybody all across both sides of the team. Can't wait to see how this game ends.
And I think that Campbellsville here, they're just sort of trying to find any advantages that they can. And I think a lot of that has to come through Meki on the bottom side of the map here, you know. The richest member on their team, keeping as much pace as possible with, you know, the enemy team here, you know, has a little bit of a gold advantage over some of the other members, but I mean, look at Rockboom here, look at Zephrot, they're both cresting 10,000 gold at this point, they're incredibly fed. Speaking of Zephrot, going to be going in aggressively onto Terry, going to find another kill for themselves, 8-1-7 is the Graves, for as many names as possible. Well, going to end up backing off of this play at the end of it, but nonetheless, bot lane prio has been achieved. This does give a little bit more room for Bakery Boy to just shove down this lane at will. On top side, Riki just doing whatever they want. They can sit in the side lane and do whatever. They're going to actually be taken down into the Death Realm here. Seems like Ashton and Trust fancy their chances at taking down this Silent. There's actually 3 members of Campbellsville top side, but flashing over the wall. Here he goes through turn 1. Going to be able to get away from that one. Crashes into the wall. Won't actually get a qualifying lap out of that one, but actually going to be in a little bit more trouble. Mega Inferno Bomb coming down as well. Jace going to be able to pick that one up. Trust able to get their second kill of the game. Going to knock away the zombie as well, as that zombie does a decent amount of damage. Ashton going to be forced to pop that shield as well. Granted, what is the trade-off? Cloud Dragon on the opposite side of the map.
Also, the one thing that I think happened is that we did get to grab a couple of flashes while Riki was trying to run out of that. So that's a benefit towards St. Clair, because Riki doesn't care if he dies in a fight. He's just there to take all the damage. Okay, Ziggs is just gonna get one shot by Bakery Boy, just casually, you know how it goes.
Yeah, Toe Breaker gonna come over and break some teeth as well. Ziggs is gonna need a trip to the dentist after that one. Ziggs has a lot of teeth in all of his skills. That's the joke.
Yeah, he always has that really big smile.
Like a crazy smile.
Yeah.
I'm Ziggs.
Yeah, but it's adorable. I'd be his friend.
Ziggs scares me. Ziggs is crazy.
You scare me.
You scare me.
Okay, so we're even.
Yeah, there we go. Ziggs scares me more though, unfortunately. Sometimes.
Whoa.
Pearly White. You know, Ziggs would be like a great cover model for like a toothpaste brand. Like, you know, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend this toothpaste. No, it would be for toothpaste. He's got those pearly whites.
I thought you were saying
look at his smile.
He's adorable. He honestly reminds me of my dog Moose. Because Moose, he doesn't have a brain cell. It does not look like Ziggs has any brain cells.
So Ziggs doesn't have a brain. Ziggs is a mad scientist.
He makes bombs.
Yeah, he's smart. You know, Ziggs, I'm sure, is a very smart Yordle.
Yeah, but I bet you wouldn't say Jinx is smart. End of conversation.
Why is Jinx in this conversation? Jinx isn't even in this game.
Because I can. That's why.
We wouldn't want to jinx anything in this game, because right now St. Clair with a 13,500 gold lead. The only thing we're jinxing is my math skills at this point. Toebreaker continuing to push through, get as much as possible. 3 completed items on the Graves. They are the raid boss to take down at this point in the game. And St. Clair really just trying to cross their T's, dot their I's, finish off this game as strong as possible. Bakery Boy looking for a little bit more damage there onto Ashton. No MR built up yet onto Ashton means that they're going to have a rough time. Going to take off a down into the Death Realm, but here comes Sion coming through from bot lane, as you can see on the minimap, trying to get out of that one. But this fight going a little bit south for the side of St. Clair. Campbellsville able to find one for themselves. It is traded back there. Toebreaker going to be able to stay alive as Rockboom dropping down all those auto attacks. A double kill picked up by Caitlyn, laying down the law on the side of Campbellsville there. Lots of damage coming through as well. Trust actually able to turn one back around the chase. Finally able to find an execute, but Riki drifting through turn 3, able to pick up another kill for themselves. And now 4-for-2 fight overall could be the turn towards Baron here for the side of St. Clair.
That got a little bit scary there. It did look a little bit like Saints were just going to get aced there, but luckily they did turn around the fight. Rocco pulled a miracle out of that fight and was able to pick up another 2 kills from that. And overall, I'm kind of surprised that they were able to win that fight later on, because that Mordekaiser, again, as you mentioned, he doesn't have any MR or anything like that yet. So I expected a little bit more damage from his side, honestly. But Bakery Boy just looked him deep in the eyes and said, "You don't get to play the game, sir. I'm going to send you to gray screen. You're going to enjoy it there. Have fun."
And I think overall, it's a case of this Mordekaiser is able to assassinate someone, but it's the karma. And Rafa, gone for the BM book here, built up that Medai Soul Stealer. Only has 2 stacks on it after dying there, so yeah. It's there at the very least, but overall, it's still just Camelsville holding the door for as long as possible, holding on for dear life, it feels like, in this game, because 15,000 gold deficit, St. Clair really trying what they can. But of course, still looking towards the Ziggs now, 2.5 items. It's so hard to push into a Ziggs at all times just because of how much wave clear there is. And the 2 times that St. Clair were able to take down the Ziggs, it led to decent amount of objective control for them. They were able to pick up tier 2 towers. They were able to push more into an advantage, but for the time being, it's just a little bit difficult to deal with the opposite side of it, the Caitlyn being 3.5 items on the opposite side, now building towards a Lord Dominik's Regard. So we'll see if Rockboom is able to bring the boom down onto the Ziggs at this point, to the entire team of Camelsville, because I was trying to think of something funny to say there, but realistically, Rockboom's just bad.
Also, good for the LeBlanc as well, Bakery Boy in the mid lane. He also has 3 items, plus a 10 stacks on the Darksteel there. So he is going to do a lot more damage, as one of the items is a Rabadon Death Cap. I believe that is still 120 plus ability, or more ability power to all of your damage that you already do. LeBlanc one-shots in general, and it's going to get even more now. And it's just going to be a little bit scary.
Yeah, Baker Boy is very fed, to say the least, as well as Zephrod chunking out the Jace down very low, or chunking out the Zig, sorry, down very low. But Ashton fancies their chances once again against Ricky here. Ricky going to be in a little bit of a tough situation. Doesn't quite have the tools to get out of this, but might not need it. Has the reinforcements on the way. Long Arm of the Law comes through, helps out Ricky to clean that one up as the Lumberjack fights for their right. Showbreaker, though, going to be taking a lot of damage. Here comes the Ziggs damage as well, taking a decent chunk here. Zephrod gets a huge shield, though, coming through, but will tick down from the Ignite. It's the Leona finally getting on the board, but this fight is going all the way of St. Clair. Ricky comes back in, picks up another kill for themselves. A double kill coming through from Rockboom, and now it is Meki versus the world. Doesn't matter how often you brush your teeth, you gotta brush up on your damage at this point, because Rockboom and Rafa are zoning the Ziggs in the base. Put him in baby jail, as they say. Rockboom trying to find the rest of the kills. Actually taking a decent chunk of damage. Bouncing Bomb not quite gonna land, as the Satchel Charge misses as well. Actually gonna get the Bouncing Bomb to land onto Rockboom. Meki doing what they can, but Ricky says it's time to go. It might actually be a defense of the base here, but nonetheless, there's still a zombie form to come. Bakery Boy dropping down those auto attacks as well, and that's going to be the game and the series for St. Clair. Messier game too, but more fun nonetheless. Great game from both teams. The Saints take the 2-0.
Very, very well done to both of the teams. It was a very, very enjoyable series that we got to watch today. I'm always going to be salty unless I see Jinx on the screen, so... But if possible, I would love to take a look at that scoreboard, because it was an interesting game, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely interesting, and I think that what we're going to see is a solid amount of damage coming through from that Ziggs, and that's exactly what we see. Even Mordekaiser getting up there on the damage, but as you can see, it's just a more spread out affair from the side of St. Clair. You know, no one below 10,000 damage. Lowest damage is your Scion in the top lane. You know, overall, a strong performance from St. Clair, showing that they are confident. A little bit messier in terms of just giving up some fights at that, but nonetheless, it was still a strong performance coming away with a victory.
They played it extremely well. I like how the last 2 games that we watched, Ricky wasn't even like the one that had all the damage. It was more the rest of the team, or even the enemy team was doing a ton of damage as well. But it was nice to see that, like, him just drifting around the corner on the mini-map, just waiting to join that team fight. But he was on his way. He was doing it.
Yeah.
He was very, very close. Overall, though, great job from both teams. And if possible, I believe we do have a schedule that we could look at to talk about what the rest of the week is going to look like for us. So tomorrow we got Rocket League at 6 o'clock. It is going to be a varsity game for Saints against King's College. I believe we have played them before, but I'm not sure if it was Rocket League or if it was for a different game.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, Rainbow Six Siege not going to actually happen tomorrow.
RIP.
That one's just not happening, unfortunately. But on Saturday, you get your favorite Saturday Rocket League stream. CCA is back. You know, going to be back in the saddle for that one. Very curious to see how the Saints do in that one, because it seems like they've had a little bit of a rockier start to the Rocket League season than has been expected, but definitely one of those teams that, you know, it's well known. You know, I've been talking to other casts and say, "Yeah, I'm from St. Clair." They're like, "Oh, you know, they got a really good Rocket League team." It's like, okay, that's some recognition to go by. Hopefully,
I mean,
hopefully down the line they say you got a good Valorant team, you got a good League of Legends team, you got a good R6 team, you got a good everything team. But of course, that is the goal. Unfortunately, though, for tonight, that is all that we've got for you. Just want to thank everyone here at the Saints broadcast for their work with us. Of course, Josh is directing for us tonight. Danner's doing the Observe, and of course, my co-caster, Kaylee, as always, for joining me on this adventure. Hope you all have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for Rocket League. Lot of damage here from the Sion is exactly expected. All the flashes coming down. Those actually Kid and Flame going to be able to follow through onto Rockboom. No flash available. Going to burn that heal as well. Here is the gank from...
Now we do see Zephrot and Bakery Boy come around the corner to go in and maybe pick up an extra kill. Looks like they got the early gank off right before him, but looks like they are going to pick up a really free kill up in mid lane real quick, just on Jill, at least a little bit disrespected. Ricky is going to get pulled up in top lane, but he might actually get the kill on the Mordekaiser here. Had to pop shield.
Yeah,
Zephrot is right around the corner. Flash comes through, and he...
have that Flying Drag available. Doesn't really have the health to be able to continue this play, but meanwhile, mid lane, Codebreaker going to be going in for this one. Lots of damage being taken by the side of Trust, trying to stay alive. The Ignite takes that chain, going to clean that one up, but the last auto attack from the Jace going to be able to finish that one up as well. Rafa taking a decent amount of damage as they're already sort of asserting their dominance across this game by getting these jungle timers a little bit better than the Jarvan is. Of note, Jarvan wasn't actually able to take their first red buff, but meanwhile, mid lane, once again, the Jace under threat.
Going to be dropped. J4 is around the corner coming from drop.
Oh, Leona
is going to flash in and go on Rocco there, but he is able to get out perfectly fine. Bakery Boy is going to go in on the Jace. The root is not going to land, but it's okay because Zephrot's just going to one-shot him.
Yeah, going over the wall with the collateral damage, but it doesn't seem like they're done. Dashing over that wall. Bakery Boy coming in with the chains, landing on a Kid and Flame. It's going to be Rafa with the Inner Flame picking that one up as well. Codebreaker looking for a little... yeah, you can see Trust now moving forward. Codebreaker trying to get out of this one. Graves actually going to be able to dodge away from that. No execute potential, but here comes the unstoppable charge. You're going to be able to find that knockup onto Trust. Going a little bit too deep. Trusted themselves a little bit too much with that damage, but not going to be able to do it. Ashton now taking Zephrot down to the Death Realm, but this Graves is fed. This Graves is going to find their 5th kill of the game. Rafa going to land that tether down as well onto Kid and Flame here. This Leona burning down from the flames from that Ignite as well. It's going to be another kill picked up by the side of Codebreaker there. Breaking ankle and go, this is my red buff. Probably going to take that for themselves eventually. Ashton are going to try and contest it. Believe that is Zephrot taking that away, but here a little bit of a fight. Cataclysm goes down. Actually going to be taken down into the Death Realm as well is the Graves. It is going to be Rockboom picking up one for themselves as well. Meanwhile, topside Mega Inferno Bomb comes down onto Rockboom, taking a lot of damage. The Ziggs on the opposite side of that wall. Lots of damage coming through. The Ignite taken down as well. That last bouncing bomb comes through. Kobe Bryant shoots
from last game, so instead they're going to be pushing mid, but they do end up getting to push up top lane. Zephrot is around the corner with Rafa, probably going to pick up the kill on J4 there. Ziggs did take out Ricky quickly. Ricky does get the kill on the Leona. Rocco is going to Gale Force forward.
For a little bit more damage there onto Ashton. No MR built up yet onto Ashton means that they're going to have a rough time. Going to take Rafa down into the Death Realm, but here comes Sion coming through from bot lane. As you can see on the mini-map, trying to get out of that one. But this fight going a little bit south for the side of St. Clair. Gamblesville able to find one for themselves. It is traded back there. Codebreaker going to be able to stay alive as Rockboom dropping down all those auto attacks. A double kill picked up by Caitlyn, laying down the law on the side of Campbellsville there. Lots of damage coming through as well. Trust actually able to turn one back around. The Jace finally able to find an execute, but Rick, the Ziggs damage as well, taking a decent chunk here. Zephrot gets a huge shield though coming through, but will tick down from the Ignite. It's the Leona finally getting on the board, but this fight is going all the way of St. Clair. Ricky comes back in, picks up another kill for themselves. A double kill coming through from Rockboom, and now it is Meki versus the world. With Meki doing what they can, but Ricky says it's time to go. It might actually be a defense of the base here, but nonetheless, there's still a zombie form to come. Bakery Boy dropping down those auto attacks as well, and that's going to be the game and the series for St. Clair. Messier game too, but more fun nonetheless. Great game, taking a lot of damage here from